All right. Hello, Cameron Sean. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. Nice to have you
Thanks for
here.
having me.
I'm always excited when I get musicians on the show because I am a musician, although semi retired and probably from a different generation of music than you. Looking at your bio, you were born in 1993.
No, I'm 28.
I was born in 62. So, my musical tastes are running to like Elton John and Billy Joel. I'm a piano player.
Nice, man. I
And
I love Elton John and Billy Joel. They're amazing, man. One of my dreams is to get on a song with Elton John. He's so talented.
well, and he's still doing it. I think Billy's retired now, but
Yeah,
Elton's still sort of out there doing it.
he's just one of those guys that are just, for me, I always my mentality is as great as I think I am because you have to have some form of strong confidence, of course, and being humble at the same time. But it's like there's always someone out there more talented than you, so just work hard. And Elton John is one of those people I think of because it doesn't matter what he does, he just touches something, and musically it just turns to gold. It's ridiculous how good of a musician that man is.
Well, and he's been doing it for a long time. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm 60 years old, and when I was a kid, I was listening to his albums that were just coming out. They were like, it was new music at that
he's
point.
incredible, man.
Yeah,
He's like collaborating with like pop stars of today, like people of my relative age and demographic, and the songs that he's making with these artists, like I can guarantee you, he's writing all of it. He is there. He's making hits still, and it's just like you listen to that, and it's like there's levels to this. So
that's
just I
true.
try to stay humble and realize like I never try to get too comfortable with how great I think I'm doing, or and not to say not to celebrate because I still don't really celebrate either. But it's more, I guess, as an artist, it's like you got to keep the ball rolling because just like sales or like a corporate sales job, you're only as good as your last sale. You're only as good as your last song. So just got to stay hungry, man.
Well, it's true. And also with music, you kind of have to, if you're in this business for a long time, you kind of have to continuously reinvent yourself because
Exactly.
people are going to get tired of the same old, same old. If you're a
Yep.
one hit wonder and you get a big enough hit, you could live on that. I know a guy that had a
Literally.
massive hit in the 1970s, and that was his bread and butter, and it still is
It's so
from
wild,
one
right? Because
song.
certain
Yeah.
songs just never die. Never.
And he's getting, I mean, over a million plays on Spotify and stuff, and it's unbelievable. He's still, that one song has kept him alive for the last 50 years.
Sometimes it's all you need, right? Just
Yeah,
one.
fantastic. So let me ask you a little bit about yourself. Um, do you write your own? You write all your
Of
stuff?
course.
Yeah, okay. And
In terms of hip hop, I write everything. The only thing I don't do is produce, so I don't create the beats.
so I'm not that well versed in hip hop. I like some of it, but I don't know the process so much. So you write the lyrics, and then
Yes.
somebody else will put the beats to it.
Yes. Yes. I'll either collaborate with them or I'll buy the rights to them and we'll split it 50-50. But it's really their instruments and everything they put together combined with my lyrics and singing or whatever you want to songwriting in general. And then, we have a song.
When did you get started in music?
Music, I would probably say like seriously around the age of 16. Rough, I would always write. Music has always been something to help me through just like personal stuff. And I always say this, but it's true. It is cheaper than therapy. And for me, it's nice having an outlet to let out, either tough times, great times, just in general. And ultimately, it's always fun for me. But I would say seriously to the point where I have a company's backing me and a management group. It really got serious this past year. I would say in the past year I've done more than I ever have, but the actual skill I've been writing for over a decade.
Okay, great. Are you making a living at this?
Not completely yet. I am at the point where I'm right on the precipice of it becoming completely full-time comfortable. But as you know, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of things that need to fall into place. I mean, ultimately, talent is overrated. I know nobody wants to hear that, and it's true. Talent is overrated. It's as you know, having a show and everything. It's about marketing, branding. It's everything has to come together into place. But I'm the closest I've ever been, and I really think this is the year that things blow up. I signed to a major label, and I always think one song is all it takes, or one opportunity. So it's coming. I can feel it. I just got to keep faith and work hard.
You did sign to a major label? That's great.
Not yet, but that
Oh,
would
not
be
yet.
the next step. And we're closer than we ever have been. Just trying to iron out a couple ideas and a couple things, and we should be in good shape.
Let me ask you a little bit about that, because there is this big debate of now that everything has been democratized and DIY and internet, and you can pretty much do everything. Do you need the major label? What's the benefit?
For me, honestly, Douglas, right now it is more about real fans. Everything today is, a bot, a stream. As you know, it's less genuine than it has been. Back in the day, all you needed was, a record hit, or, you'd really physically get out there and grind. But today it's more about image perception, and there's tons of artists, huge artists today that aren't selling anything. There's TikTok stars that have millions of followers. People show up to the meet and greet, nobody's there. So a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. The reason I would want the major label is because I'd have millions of dollars backing me in terms of marketing. I just need to get my music in front of real people, and I'm fine. Because the problem was never the sound, it was never the music. It's more getting it into the hands of people that will actually support me, buy merchandise, show up to shows. So that's why I'd like the label, because they would give me a lot more power in regards to getting myself out there, because I'm competing with millions. It's like becoming a professional athlete in terms of statistics.
Oh, it's very true. Well, I hope that works out for you, but I think you've got the right attitude, because when you said the talent was overrated, I mean, it's
Not
true in
completely,
this
but
in this industry. I know what you mean, because I've had this debate on the show before where we said, is it more important to be talented or to have great marketing? And the general overall opinion came through that marketing surpassed talent at this point. It never used to. If you had talent, and as long as somebody found you, you were great. In an interview with James Taylor, back in his day, you had to get into the door. Okay, once you got into the room, there was nobody there. You were all alone. He said now the door has been kicked wide open, and anybody can get into the room, but there's a million other people in that room with you. And I think that was a great analogy, because it really shows what has happened. And it's good and bad. It's a double-edged sword. I think that there's great benefits to it. It's the good news is the same as the bad news. Well, now everybody can do it. Yeah, but now everybody can do it. And
exactly,
and that pretty
exactly.
much
Now the
sums it
market
up.
is crowded, we'll say.
Yeah, yeah.
And I totally agree with you. I would say not that talent is completely overrated, because I mean, to me, at least in hip hop, the rappers and the artists that stay relevant are the ones with skill. They don't sound like everybody else. They have their own unique everything, and they have a die-hard fan base. So it's not overrated. Ultimately, you need it to, just like someone like we were saying, Elton John. He's so talented and so skilled that he can stay relevant regardless of the generation, regardless of the change in music. So it's not overrated in that aspect. I guess what I was saying, like you were saying, because you're competing with so many people, I would say marketing and branding is just as important, if not more important today, specifically just because of the sheer amount of people you're competing with.
I've seen it where people have mediocre talent but stellar marketing, and they're doing a lot better than the ones with stellar talent and mediocre marketing. So
Yeah. And I
it's
used to
true.
be one of those people, Doug, that I would be I don't want to say I was a hater, but I was a little salty. I would be like, oh man, my music's better than these people, and they have millions of views. And until I met my managers, they really explained to me, even the people, regardless of skill, it's all subjective anyway. It's like how many people are, like at least in hip hop, how many people are supporting this person compared to that person. It's overrated. Not that skill is, but he said that these artists that you see, even though you might have a better sound and you might have a better whatever, or look, whatever you think, which is great because you're confident, those artists have 100 people behind them that are elite at their jobs, supporting them,
Right.
you know, teaching them.
Team.
It's crazy.
They got a team behind them.
Huge
Absolutely.
team. Yeah.
Cameron, we are quickly running out of time, and I want to get the video in. So we're going to take a look at your video called Please Don't Hate. Quickly, the video, the theme of it is the sort of the uptick in Asian violence. Is that?
Yes. In New York City specifically.
Okay. Why do you think that was? Do you think it's because of COVID?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
COVID, and then people just being ignorant. You know, they're classifying Americanized Asian people with, you know, the virus itself. You know, I mean, they ticked over 300% in a couple months during the pandemic. So it's a combination of a lot of things. My whole point is that if I have the ability to write music and have a platform, I'm very proud of my Asian side because I'm half Chinese and half European. I'm going to say something regardless of who feels some type of way about it. You know, it's my duty to do the right thing. And this would be for any type of racism, not just because it's Asian. Obviously, this one hits personally, but yeah, you know, I want to be an advocate for peace regardless.
That's great. How's the video doing?
The video is doing great. It's roughly at 40,000 views, very close to it. And I had the opportunity to work with a Grammy-nominated jazz artist, Richie Goods, who's a good friend of mine, as well as another jazz artist named Chen Chen Liu, who's amazing. Her album was like top on the charts for jazz music for like 7 weeks straight. I just felt really great to have people of that caliber want to work with me genuinely and ultimately just create a great song.
Okay, super. Well, Cameron, thanks so much for coming on the show. It was nice meeting you, nice talking to you. Sorry we ran out of time so fast. You know, it just goes by quick on this show.
No worries, man. I really enjoyed you having me, and I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can do it again.
All right, so let's take a look at the video. This is Please Don't Hate by Cameron Sean.
Asian and Pacific Islander Americans are facing a surge of attacks in the U.S. The rise in violence has sparked fear within the AAPI community. We went to New York City, where police data shows there's been a 1,900% increase in hate crimes against Asians.
There's a war going on outside, people are dying, families are crying, everybody's divided. And honestly, I never was a fan of the violence. Ironic, it stems from a place where I solely resided. It's still New York, all day, every day. But at the moment I feel like we've lost our identity. And if you're cool with these blatant hate crimes, you could miss me with that energy. So much pain in my heart and it's hurting. So much damage, got the weight of the world on my shoulders with a burden. What a burden. Gotta find a way to make a change. So we all pray for better days, but today it's always about race. Please don't hate. How come every standard was lowered? You act like all Asian Americans created Corona. Never been a race beta, but when it comes to the issue of all hate, I have to push it forward. We have to take onus. They're serving out wood shampoos and concrete facials. Innocent people are being assaulted. Better be careful, even if you look like you're Asian, you might be the next target. Woman was pushed in front of the subway the other day. Only motive to the culprit was a rage. All suffered through the pandemic, regardless of the hate. But why does nobody care? Come on, give me a break. You want something done well, you gotta do it yourself. If I don't say something, I'll probably lose myself. Some people are evil. At the minimum, we demand respect. And if you don't like that, silence me next. So much pain in my heart and it's hurting. So much damage, got the weight of the world on my shoulders with a burden.
This is Frank Dean from WRO News. We just found out that artist Cameron Sean has been attacked, but thankfully unharmed. What's happening now in New York City has the city on high alert. This is Frank Dean reporting live from WRO News. I'll always take my time when it comes to laying the verse.
I'll always say the truth when it's hard and I know it hurts. Might have to get my grandmother a vest on my Asian side before my city gets worse. Got minorities suited, laid up in a hearse. It's like we live in a world of war between races, racing to see who can be the most racist. Occurs on an everyday basis, so disgusting, this tasteless. I hate this, cause I could care less about authority, entitlement, feelings of superiority, always been ill. Way before quarantine, allergic to the average majority. I'm far from your model minority. I gotta go hard for my people. I'm a rider, pacifist. If it comes down to these fists, I'm a fighter. Original Jake Long, always had a fighter.